Good afternoon. கஷ்டம்தான் புரியுது. Anyway, I think Vishy did a great job. He almost covered whatever I wanted to say. So I thought I'll say, thank you, Vishy. I repeat what you said and sit down. But I have to do justice for having come all the way from Chennai. Well, you saw that's a big family that I'm managing. First of all, my sincere thanks to ICT Academy, and this is my first time doing this participation in this program. I wish them all the best, and I also would like to thank other office bearers who made it possible for me to be here, including the logistics, etc. Coming to Madurai is always very nostalgic because I was here for almost 3.5 years. I was working with TV Sundaramayangar and Sons. In fact, my wife still says life was very simple, pleasant, wonderful, and less complex till we lived in Madurai. Things became bad after we left Madurai. That's a credit to you all. Because we always felt that probably it was something to do with the organization also. They made us feel part of the family. And so it was one large extended family. And ever since we left this place and settled down in Chennai, you're on your own. Well, the way I would like to cover my assignment of 20 minutes is that fair amount has been said about what is expected from the resources that you are year on year contributing to us. First of all, thank you for that. And what is the kind of trends that we are likely to experience? Where are we going? And what you can do about it and what we can do about it. And the ICT Academy acting as a bridge. So I will cover less of that because enough has been said about it since morning. But I would like to start off on a very positive note because there was a lot of talks about the children today who are, the students of your institutions and tomorrow employees of our organization. And what is it that we have done as an organization or as a country or as an industry? So I feel that this part is quite positive. I was also a father of an engineering graduate. Fortunately, when he was studying in class 8, he won the scholarship, Don Bosco scholarship, to study in National University, Singapore. And after the interview was over, I was working in New Zealand at that time. I asked him, how did the interview go? Daddy, they said they don't have medical school. Because that entire scholarship program was about engineering, he went and asked them about an medical seat, and they said, very good, Sonny, all the best for you, but we don't have a medical college in NUS. He came to +2. He was determined that he will enter the medical school because one of his very close friends' father was down with cancer. When he saw that, he thought that's the best thing he can give back to the society, and he said he's going to do medicine. And the results came. He said, no way, Daddy. The way I see my marks, I think I'm fit for engineering. 4 years down the line, I don't know what the chairmans and the principals and the placement officers did to him. 4 years down the line, I wouldn't say he was a scholar, I wouldn't say he was a brilliant, but he did things well. He always managed to be there where he should be at the right time. And he had his marks. He had 2 or 3 placements, Cognizant, the CTS, TCS and all that. And then promptly he came home and said, Daddy, I'm not taking any of this. So I said, what do you want to do with it? He said, I want to attempt for my civil services. I said, my God, what's happening? And I'm supposed to be an HR manager, capable of counseling thousands and thousands of people, guiding them day in and day out in my job. And my wife looked at me and said, you totally failed. After all these years, that's what I got from her. And then I said, okay, give me a chance, give me one last chance. And then they always put a lot of conditions. They said, he cannot do it on its own. It has to be a job plus coaching for his civil services, or at least a PG plus coaching for civil services. I put my entire life at risk. And I told my wife and my in-laws and my mother, nothing doing. I know there can be only one master and one servant. You cannot serve 2 masters. He does either civil services or he goes for a job or PG. I said, son, I put my entire career on you. Prove me right. And fortunately, he cleared the civil service on the first attempt. And today, he's waiting. He's not happy with the rank, so he's appeared again. He again cleared his prelims, and he's again sitting for his mains in the coming month. Why I'm sharing with this is that the children, what we have today, are excellent. They are capable. Only thing is that we need to guide them. We need to give them the right kind of input. We need to give them the confidence and support. And I'm telling you, they will take India where it deserves to be. I am convinced about it. I came here way back in 1997-98 with Koreans to recruit for my Hyundai motor plant. We were very, very convinced that we will do recruitment only in Tamil Nadu. First opportunity, first such a huge mighty plant coming to India. First chance for people from south, that to Tamil Nadu. And when we went for interviews, we found people less than 40 kilos. And these Koreans were questioning us how he can stand for 8 hours and work on an assembly line. Vishy was absolutely right. Do you believe that today we are producing 2,300 cars a day? We are second largest car manufacturer in India and fifth largest car manufacturer in the world. And we have now kind of set a record where we are breaking that record. Every 18 months, we are producing 1 million cars. 1 million cars every 18 months. And it is our people. It is people from here, Madurai, Tirunelveli, Coimbatore. Why we should not be proud about them? Give them a big clap. I am absolutely convinced that yes, it is possible. Whatever we have achieved today, it is because of them. But is it enough? Is it the way forward? Can we sit back and say, okay, having done all this, there's nothing else to do. Where is the world going? Today, if you ask Hyundai, who's your competition? Maruti? Mahindras? No. Google. Our competitor is Facebook. Our competitor is Apple. It is Tesla. They are changing the game. They are not changing the rules of the game. They are changing the game. Today they are talking about, as Vishy was saying, automated cars. Do you know in US, a truck without a driver has already delivered its first load of beer and earned $175. A truck without a driver. Can you believe that? It has happened. What is right now in terms of actually putting it to use is the law, the legislation. The government and the law or the watchdogs are questioning if the car meets with an accident, who is responsible? Is it the car? Because the car doesn't have a driver. Who's responsible? Or is the pedestrian? Or is the technology? Who is to be blamed? So this is where the major issues are. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, technology is ready. So in the next few minutes, I'll take you through quickly where we are going in terms of technology. There are a lot of numbers, a lot of information. I'll share this information with the academy. Whoever is interested can take it. But what is my request is that please prepare your students keeping this in mind. Most of us are under the impression that what we need for an automobile company is a mechanical engineer. Correct? How many of you say yes? No. Today, most of the components are electronic or it's electromechanical. If a person does not have the electronics, electrical and mechanical knowledge, he will find it very, very difficult to survive in a company like ours, which is kind of the speed at which we are going. We would like to be there at the top. We would like to take, in fact, Hyundai Motor India is the most performing subsidiary of Hyundai Motor Group world over. We are contributing the highest top line and the bottom line to them. And this is because of what we have done in the last 18 years. We have just completed 19 years. We are celebrating our 20th year. So I'll just quickly take you through where automobile industry is going and leave you with those thoughts. And it's up to you to come to us and ask us in what way we can help you. And we, along with the academy, can find the solutions. These are all only statistics. So this must be a knowledge to all of you. I wouldn't dwell too much on this. If you look at what the government wants from us, they want us to be the third largest car manufacturer in the world. The auto policy has been defined by the government of India, and as such, we contribute almost 31% of the small cars world over. We export almost 120 countries in the world. And so do Nissan, so do Maruti. And we hold almost, as India, 31% of small cars world over. So if you look at this, I would be very keen about these factors. This is 12% of country's GDP is from the automobile industry. 13% of the excise duty to the government is from this industry. 65 million direct jobs or indirect jobs have been generated. And in the last few years, that is about a decade, we have generated 25 million jobs. And we are almost going to be 35 to 40% in the exports. And where this industry is going, if you map it on two angles, one is the disruptive technology, and the other one is limited impact on the value chain. And these are the four specific areas which I would like to talk about. That is the future retail, how people are buying, the buying behavior of people, the big data involved in making decisions about the product, the process, the service, and how automated driving is going to impact us, and how the electric powertrain or so-called battery car is going to change the topography. If you look at how people are buying, 18 to 29 is increasing now. Average dealer visit has come down to 2. Research time on internet from 90, it is 35. Use before car purchase, internet, from 7, it has gone up to 92. Again, the influence of internet, 41 compared to 1. And the peer recommendation has doubled. That means the entire buying behavior has changed. Now, we will be doing less and less with the very, very formal dealership, and we will be looking at more and more of multi-channel retailing, where the stationary formats like brand stores and pop-up stores will be created, new virtual formats like online sales, new mobile formats, and seamless cross-format integration and data management. We will do away with both retail enabling as well as retail experience in a matter of time. This is already happening in Europe, and we are under tremendous pressure because of the cost involved in dealerships to move into format 3 as early as possible. Now, the kind of skill sets that was available to be in chain 1 and 2 is a lot different to be in number 3, which means we have to change the curriculum as well as the inputs that you give to your students in order to prepare them for the position 3. Next is big data. I suspect that when the history is written 200 years from now, a trend will emerge as something very important that happened in human thinking during the time when we were alive, and that is that we are becoming rational, analytical, and data-driven in a far wider range of activity than we have ever been before. Larry Summers. Now, what is this big data to us? If you look at it, in terms of volume, the big data, volume, velocity, and the variety. If you see, for the future, we will be always looking at 450 billion estimated number of business transactions on the internet by 2020, which means it is going to require an entirely different kind of skill sets in order to analyze this data and come with some kind of logical solutions in order to help the sales grow. Not alone the sales, even in terms of manufacturing, designing the product variants, and the kind of launches that we should plan. The potential of big data, it is lying in optimization of the existing business model so that it can generate new business models. In terms of revenue, it can bring about 3 to 6% increase and reduce cost anywhere between 2 to 5%, and the best, it's almost 7:1. Now, we have identified key success factors that will make us a big data player, because even as an automobile industry, we have identified that this is the way to go. And so, we have earmarked a specific team now. We have put together a team which is exclusively working on the data, that is not alone specific to India, but also to the countries that we are expecting. And we are following how the other companies, which I have mentioned here, have leveraged upon this data, and we are learning from this experience. And in fact, our recruitment drive is also towards to bring in such kind of high talents so that we can gain expertise in crunching numbers. Some of the trends that what Gartner has mentioned, I wouldn't go into every single one of them, but I am very specific about item number 4. It says by 2018, more than 3 million workers globally will be supervised by robobots, which means there could be a possibility that the human element is reducing over a period of time and the machines completely taking over control of the manufacturing process, which he was absolutely right. Today, in our factory, any job that is repetitive, but it requires quality, is being done by robots. We do not have human doing any jobs that are repetitive in nature, but at the same time, it requires quality assurance. For example, the paint finish, if the rubbing and waxing has to be done, it is done by a robot, because if the paint is not of quality, it will be rejected. Next is the trend of the cars. We are looking at automated driving. I have given specifically the various progression that we have experienced so far. Today, this is in a fairly advanced stage, and very soon, there will be possibility that these cars are being tested in India also. It has been already tested in Singapore. They are in a constant deployment in US, and very soon this will become a reality. In order to stay competitive, we will also be entering this field. But the challenge is that preparing our people in order to be a part of this team that can manage this kind of complexity. Next is what we do inside our plant. This is called Industry Stage 4. If you look at the way it has revolutionized, first it was in 1784, most of it was mechanical in nature, and then came in 1923, the second industrial revolution, where moving assembly line was introduced. If you come to our plant, you will find that the entire workforce is pulled by the conveyor belt. Each conveyor belt has got specific workstation with specific timing, and the work has to be completed within that specific time period, subject to the quality also. And from there, 1969, first programmable logic controller was introduced. And right now, 2014, we are on a real-time basis where, believe me, an ITI passed out student, fresh from the institute, is working in our assembly line, who is told exactly which model of the car. It could be of 15 different varieties, of another 30 to 40 different trim combinations, again with about 6 to 7 different colors, export or import, with all these complexities. If the program clearly tells him which box he should put his hand and pull out the particular specific item to be assembled on the car. That is the kind of technology in which he is working. Who is working? An ITA student. And if we are expecting a graduate engineer to do something more than that, you can understand at what level that graduate engineer is working. Today, the situation is such that it is more complex because of the customer's expectation from us, be it in terms of product, specifications, timing, color, you name it. They give us the specifications and they ask the product to be delivered to their house. Such is their expectations. And added to this is that we have to follow it up in terms of almost 3 years as our commitment to any product that we deliver in terms of service support throughout India and to the countries that we export. Again, the kind of information with which the service policies, the service mechanisms are being planned, created and deployed requires very, very high skills. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you a bird's eye view. I've just moved through pretty fast on the presentation, but I'll share the presentation. If you're interested, please take it. And let me tell you, the time is not very far. It's only a matter of years that we will be there. And when we are there, we will be definitely looking at you to provide the kind of resources in order to make this possible and also to go to the next level. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.